Hello everyone. So as we know that we are solving top 50 array questions according to K-Progbix. So the second number question is find the minimum and maximum element in an array. Okay. So this is the question. This is the question which we have to solve. Okay. This is a basic level question. And in this question, what we are given, we have given a array and we have to find the minimum and the maximum number in this area. So how can we do that? So for that, uh, let's try to do this. So for example, let's take this example only 3 2 1. So we have what 3 2 1 56 and 1167. So 3 2 1 56 1000 and let's just say 36. Okay. So this is the array and we have to find minimum and maximum element in this array. So how can we do that? So the very easiest way to do this question is running a loop. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to run a loop from the zeroth element to n minus 1th element. Okay, and we are going to check is it minimum, is it minimum? If it is, then we are going to do something, and if it is maximum, then we are going to do something. Okay, so let's try to do that. So for that, we what we can do, do we can run two loops, one for minimum, okay, and one for maximum. So let's go for minimum first. Okay, so let's go for minimum. So we can imagine like minimum to be the zeroth element. Okay, we can imagine initially. Okay, zeroth means we are imagining that 3 is the minimum element. Okay, after that what we are going to do, we are going to run a loop from 0 to nth element. So we are here and we are comparing uh, the current element with our minimum. Okay, we are checking that is our current element less than minimum. Okay, so at 0th element, what we are checking is 3 less than 3. So no, it's not less than 3. So we are going to go to the next iteration. Next iteration we have 2. So we are checking if is 2 less than 3. So it is less than 3. So what we are going to do, we are going to assign 2 into our minimum. So minimum is now 2. Okay, in the next iteration we are at 1. Okay, so we are again checking is 1 less than 3. Sorry, our minimum is 2 right now, is less than 2. Then yes, it is less than 2. So what we are going to do, we are going to assign 1 into the minimum. So now our minimum is 1. Now we are going to next iteration in 56. So we are checking is 56 less than 1. No, it is not. So let's go to the next iteration, 1000. So is 1000 less than 1? No, it is not. So let's go to the next iteration. So next iteration is 36. So is 36 less than 1? So again, no, it is not. So after all the iteration is done, minimum, what we have, minimum is 1. Okay, so we got the minimum. Okay, we got the minimum as equal to 1. Right, let's try to do the same with maximum. So I'm erasing this. Okay, okay, fine. So let's try to do that for maximum. So initially what we are going to do, we are imagining that initially maximum is 3, which is the first element. Okay, 0th element. So after that, we are going to run a loop from here. Okay. So what we are going to check here, that is current element greater than max. If it is, then we are going to assign the current element into the max. Okay. And if it is not, then we are going to go forward into the next iteration. So in the first iteration, what we are checking is 3 greater than 3. So no, it is not. So we are going to the next iteration. So in next iteration, we are checking is 2 greater than 3. No, it is not. So we are going to the next iteration 1. So is 1 greater than 3? So again, it is not. So what we are going to do, we are going to next iteration 56. So is 56 greater than 3? So yes, it is. Okay. So now what we have to do, we have to assign 56 into our max. Okay. Now in the next iteration, uh, we have to check again. So is 1000 greater than 56? So yes, it is. So what we are going to do, we are going to assign 1000 into our maximum. Okay. Now in the last iteration, what we are going to check, we are going to check is 36 greater than 1000. No, it is not. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are just not going to do anything, and our all the iteration is completed. Okay. And after all the iteration, what we got maximum equal to 1000. We got max 1000. Okay. So we got the minimum and we got the maximum. So this is how we can find out minimum and maximum into a array. Okay. So let's try to write the code for this. Okay. And one thing I is needed to mention here, that we have to return the answer in pair, right? We can see here, and we have to return the answer in pair. So what is this pair? So pair is nothing. We have already declared a class pair. Okay. So it is we don't have to return integer. We don't have to return integer array. We need to return pair, and they have already mentioned that how this pair is working. Okay. They have built a pair class. Okay. So we have to return the answer in this format. So let's try to do the code. Okay. So for doing the code, what we need to do, we need to create two functions. Okay, one function for getting the minimum, and one function for getting the maximum. Okay, so let's do that. So first, I'm creating a function to get the minimum. So public static nom min. Okay, what we going to need? We're going to need the array and the length of that array. That's it. Okay. And initially what we are going to do, we are going to assume that our minimum is the 0th element. Okay. Okay. And after that, we are going to run a loop. We are going to run a loop from 0 to n minus to n. Okay, n minus 1. Okay. And we are going to check on every iteration that is current element. So whatever the current element is it less than our minimum. Okay, less than our minimum. So if it is, then what we are going to do, we are going to assign that our current element into the minimum. Okay, and if it is not, then we are not going to do anything. Okay, and after all the iteration is complete, so what we are going to do, we are going to return the minimum. And similarly, we are going to create a function for finding out our maximum. Okay, so let's write the code for that as well. So we are going to need the same thing. And again, initially we are assuming that our zeroth element is the answer. Okay, and after that we are going to run a loop here, and we are going to check on every iteration that is current element greater than, this time we have to check for greater than, okay, greater than our maximum. If it is, then what we are going to do, we are going to assign the current element into our maximum. Okay, and after all the iteration is complete, okay, we are just going to return the maximum. Okay, I'll return the, okay, after writing these two functions, what we are going to do, we are going to find out our minimum. So if you want to find out our minimum, all we need to do is just call this function. Okay, so call this function and give the array and a length into it. Okay, long and okay. And the maximum, for maximum as well, we have to just call the max function. Okay, and after that we have to make an answer. Remember, we have to return the answer in pair. Okay, so we have to do this. Okay, new pair. In this new pair, we have to return, we have to give minimum and maximum. What we are going to do, we are going to return this answer. Okay, so this is the code which is needed. Okay, and let's try to run this code. If it is running this code. Okay, so we have run this code and our output is correct. This is our output and this is the expected output. So it seems correct. So let's try to submit. Let's see. So yeah, you can see that our code is getting submitted. Okay, so this is the correct answer. So this is how you can find minimum and maximum in the array. In the next we are going, what we are going to do, we are going to write we are going to solve this question, write a program to reverse an array.